Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to another exciting round here at the All-American ARCA Series for the North Carolina 200, presented by Open Group. We're at Rockingham Speedway, 197 laps here tonight, and it's going to be a hot one, already 102 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's going to be a showdown to see who can tame the track and keep the tires underneath them. As always, my name's James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much for tuning in as we look forward to bringing the action once more. 1080p, 60 frames a second. As right now, drivers out on track for qualifying. Looks like that's going to be Carrington in the top spot. As we check in on David Tooker, number 83 machine going out for his qualifying run. May have been waiting late to try and hope the cloud cover comes out slightly, trying to improve those lap times. But Carrington, the guy to beat with a 24.19. As Nick Terrell, David Tooker, the only two drivers out on track. Wyatt Nadel is in his pit stall, but I don't think he's going to have enough time here. And let's see what Tooker can do on his second timed lap. Where will the number 83 machine slot in at? And it will be a 24.7, good enough for 20th. That looks like it's going to lock in the running order here, as Wyatt Nadel was not able to get a lap complete in the 04 machine. We've got Victoria Harper tuning in. She's cheering on Andrew McGronigle. And let's get ready to go racing here at Rockingham. Starting on pole, Casey Carrington in the number 9 machine. Zach Rogers starting second. Finley Fitzsimmons starting third. James SoundCloud Silver starting fourth. Bradburn Shutter starting fifth. Lane Doyle sixth on the grid. Michael Vandermeet starting seventh. Jacob Fest-Cannon starting eighth. Andrew McGronigle starting ninth. Alex Carr starting 10th. Cody McCorkle will be starting 11th here today. Kyle Hall starting 12th. Cycling it back to Tim Kennedy starting 13th. Alex Penn starting 14th. Matthew Weeks 15th on the grid. Greg Carr starting 16th. Greg Martin 17th. Robert Hill Jr. starting 18th. Gareth McAllister, the world-famous Australian, starting 19th. David Tooker starting 20th. Nick Terrell starting 21st. And Wyatt Nadel will round out the 22-car grid here tonight at Rockingham. Going to be interesting to see what Carrington can do with it on that front row. As he'll be accompanied by Rogers in the Jim Beam back number 4. As always, let us know who you're cheering for and where you're from, as I appreciate it, the drivers appreciate it, and the league appreciates it as well. Each and every week, these shows wouldn't be nearly as much fun without the fans in attendance. We get ready to start the party. Carrington, Rogers, your front row. Fitzsimmons, Silvers, your second row. Shutters and Doyle, your third row. As the pace car comes in. And away we go here at Rockingham. Carrington on the inside line. Rogers on the high line. Fitzsimmons takes a peek at the inside as well. As drivers are going to try and get in a groove here. Going to be interesting to see, will we have green flag runs, or is it going to be a series of cautions here tonight? As your top 4 or so get a good launch and go a little bit further back, that's Doyle trying to make a move on Silvers, I believe, right behind them. Best Cannon and Shutters going side by side. Now we're expecting this evening, drivers can, in theory, stretch it out to about 75 laps on a tank of gas, but Rockingham's going to be very tough on the tires here tonight. As we are watching this battle for 4th, Silvers and Doyle going at it. Best Cannon, the number 89 machine, trying to get up there as well, right on the bumper of the 32. Best Cannon's up 2 spots so far, Doyle's up 1. As a little bit ahead of them, Rogers clicks off very early, the fastest lap of the race, a 24.37. Oh! Best Cannon gets back into Doyle. Doyle with a massive save. Holds on to it. But now the field's going to stack up here. Best Cannon really lifting hard there after getting in the back of the 32 machine of Doyle, not wanting to send him around, but that's going to be Silvers ahead of him, has problems as well as the field scatters. Oh, not a good spot for Silvers to be in here. Things are getting exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Silvers, who was running up to 4th, finds himself now 15th on track. Alex Penn, the number 30 machine, he's working his way up 4 spots so far. Trying to work his way inside the top 10, but Doyle's putting the hammer back down. What a busy racetrack here tonight. Let's check back in on your race leader and pole setter, Casey Carrington. He's got Rogers linked up right behind him. Now Rogers in the number 4 machine. Ooh, this battle's going to be interesting. Rogers in the number 4, second on track, is currently your points leader. Carrington just ahead is second in points and just 10 points back. So Carrington's going to try and maximize some bonus points tonight. But Rogers has other plans. Rogers working the outside line. Carrington lifting a little bit heavily to help facilitate that pass. Not want to get tied up too early. But there are bonus points for leading a lap, leading the most laps, or qualifying on pole. And already Carrington's led a lap and qualified on pole. This is going to be interesting. Rogers out front trying to stretch his legs slightly. He's got about a quarter of a second over Carrington. Carrington with just a quarter of a second as well over Fitzsimmons. Oh, right as we pan to him, Silvers with an off-track excursion. Now, oh, just absolutely doors. I think that was Tooker. Not able to get it slowed down into 1 and 2, so a hard hit to the left side for Tooker. Silver's coming into tonight. He was talking about internet problems and computer problems, so just trying to salvage some points. We've seen a couple of mistakes from drivers already tonight. That kind of got some innocent bystanders involved. And let's go back to the battle for 9th. Andrew McGronigle, Alex Penn linked up nose to tail. And looking to the inside line here, not quite able to make it happen. Greg Martin has come down pit road, number 22 machine. As Alex Penn's worked his way up into 9th, he's our current hard charger out on track. Up 5 positions. There's a bunch of drivers so far that have picked up 4 or 5 spots. As you see some smoke ahead of Penn there. Not quite sure where that came from. As up front, the battle for second getting more exciting as Rogers has a massive blink. Just ahead of Carrington. Carrington's got Fitzsimmons right on his heels. And it looked like Carrington was trying to make a pass to the lead against Rogers. Rogers with a bad blink once more. Getting a little bit loose there, coming out of 4. That may allow Carrington up the inside line. Oh, but look at Rogers carrying just a little bit more steam. But you know who's in a good spot watching this battle unfold is Finley Fitzsimmons in the 06 machine. Every time Rogers and Carrington spend a little bit of time battling back and forth, or more importantly, side by side, that opens up a big old air gap for Fitzsimmons, who I think may be content just following along here, trying to keep some tires underneath them. Carrington and Fitzsimmons not trying to push too hard too early on. We got a long way to go, 197 laps. Now this race, not counting cautions, expected to be about an hour and 20 minutes long. As we watch Rogers, Carrington, Fitzsimmons working together, they pulled about a 1.8 second advantage over 4th place Michael Vandermeed. If we go a little bit further, things are still hectic across the track. There's Kyle Hall in the number 87 machine right behind him. He's got Penn and Shutters going side by side. Doyle and McGronigle looking for a way through. Laps in. Drivers still running fairly quick pace, about a half second to as much as 0.6 off their fastest laps of the night. But if there's going to be problems, it's going to be around this pack as we're watching Tim Kennedy in the 88 machine trying to put some pressure on Shutters. This is about a 5-car battle for the top, or 7th through 12th is what we're watching on your screen right now. And just a momentary lapse for any of these drivers will be enough to really wad up some perfectly good race cars. As up front, Rogers clicking it off, making it look easy. When he's not blinking across the raceway, Carrington and Fitzsimmons following behind. Still holding about a 1.9 second advantage over Michael Vandermeed in 4th. But what you're watching right now, ladies and gentlemen, the battle for the lead could very well be the battle for the championship. We've just got a couple of rounds left. This is round 13 out of 14. And every good point you can grab, every solid finish, is going to really bring it down to the wire here. Well, I don't think any championships are going to be decided tonight, but Rogers trying to put himself in the best position possible heading into the final round this week. Because next week it's going to be decided, the Atlanta 250, Atlanta Motor Speedway. May 13th, we're going to crown a champion here for Season 3 of the All-American ARCA Series. James SoundCloud Silvers comes down pit road for a green flag stop on lap 24. I'm thinking probably for damage. Very interesting to see as well. Carrington and Fitzsimmons just kind of clicking off laps behind Rogers here. Now, I'm a little bit surprised. I thought maybe Carrington would be a tad bit more aggressive if he had the pace, trying to get those laps led to score some extra bonus points. But Rogers has been really fast the late half of this season, and he's been very consistent all season long, especially when we do have the occasional green flag run. We go a little bit further back. The battle inside the top 10 still pretty heated. There's Andrew McGronigal working his way back up into 9th. Lane Doyle runs 10th, down 4 spots from where he started. But this is a very crucial part of the race, ladies and gentlemen. Drivers who are not able to manage that tire wear, you may start seeing them falling towards the back as other drivers who planned on a green flag run will start crawling forward. Silvers and Martin in pit road for extended stays. As now it looks like McGronigal, one of those drivers finding pace here late in the run or later in the run, has caught up to Alex Penn and Kyle Hall running 7th and 8th. But Lane Doyle's not going to make it easy, number 32 machine, nor is Tim Kennedy in the 88. McGronigal now up to 8th. Penn has about a half-second advantage in that 7th place spot. Now don't forget, Doyle had that big moment after he got a bit of a tail tap from Fess Cannon in the opening laps. So to see that 32 machine start pulling his way back up towards the front is a very impressive feat. As speaking about up front, I think Carrington's got company from the Brit, Finley Fitzsimmons, as Rogers has extended his lead to 0.6 seconds over what is now the battle for second. Carrington's still looking for his first win of the season as well, but that consistency has been able to get him second in points. He's got 2 wins to his name. As last week at Kansas, we saw the number 9 machine finishing 5th with a 0 incident point. So running very, very clean. But will anybody be able to dethrone Zach Rogers? As now Fitzsimmons takes a peek to the inside line of Carrington going into 1. Oh, contact! Was Carrington able to keep it off the wall? 2 drivers trying to occupy the same spot as Fitzsimmons takes over the 2nd place. Wouldn't necessarily call that a clean pass, but thankfully no carnage followed afterwards. And now here comes Carrington. We'll have pressure from Vandermeer, the number 7 machine. Carrington needs to keep his head down, start clicking off some laps, just focus on hitting those marks. One of the worst things you can do as a driver, the worst thing you can have happen to you is have a big moment out on track, get frustrated, start driving with that red mist in your eyes, and throw away a perfectly good race. As we check back in with Lane Doyle, number 32 machine, he's about a half second back from McGronigle. As Alex Penn looks like he's closing the gap. Penn still has Kennedy Hall, Shutters, Weeks, and Tooker with him. Now I'm sure I'm going to jinx something here, hit everybody with the broadcaster's curse, but the fact that we've ran 37 laps clean and free so far, very impressive. As now Vandermeer takes over the 3rd place spot from Carrington. So what will be the strategy for pit road tonight? Again, drivers can go 75 laps on fuel. Will we see anybody run the entire distance? Or is tires going to be the name of the game? Drivers already a second, 1.2 seconds off their fastest laps here at Rockingham, as the great tire-saving battle continues. Once again, checking on that battle inside the top 10, Alex Penn has allowed Radburn Shutters by. Kyle Hall trying to work the inside line, and here comes Matthew Weeks as well. Oh, looks like Penn's very tight. The number 30 machine seeing him push way up the track there. And he will now find that number 30 machine back in 13th. Here comes David Tooker as well in the 83 machine. Didn't have a good qualified 20th here tonight. Very uncharacteristic out of Tooker. But let's see if he has some long-running pace. We've got, in theory, 35 minutes left on this fuel run. I would expect a large portion of the field, I think, to start that fuel window on lap 50. I think we're going to see the two different, what I think is going to be two different strategies unfold. I think you're going to have a handful of the drivers try and stretch out to lap 75, barring any incidents. I think there's going to be a bunch of drivers that come in on lap 50 as well to make it a planned 3-stop race. Because out front, Zach Rogers, the number 4 machine, clicking off laps. He's going to put McAllister, who's tagging that outside wall, a lap down. Out of the 22 drivers that started, we're down to 19 on the lead lap. 20 still on the raceway itself. Rogers just clicking off laps here. He's got about 9 seconds of track ahead of him that's going to be clean and free, so not having to worry about cutting through the field too shortly. But if he go green all the way to lap 75 towards the end of that planned fuel stop, I think Rogers has the pace, has the potential to lap up to about 16th, 17th spot. But the question is, we've seen so many big moments already, some fenders being used, some doors being smashed, but no caution. Will we have that green flag run, as now Carrington has pressure from Cannon, the number 89 machine. This will be the battle for fourth. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Even though your top three drivers very far apart, there's still racing going on all across here at Rockingham. Cannon, Carrington linked up nose to tail, cutting through traffic. Cannon working as hard as he can to work his way a little bit higher inside the top five. As these two drivers have pulled a 2.3 second advantage over Cody McCorkle, who's running sixth on the track. Carrington hops out of the way. There goes the high line. And Cannon's going to make it 4 positions gained so far. As we check back in with Rogers, the number 4 machine. He's got a 3.2 second advantage over Fitzsimmons. So the long run really paying off for the number 4 machine. Now this is a driver I think that's going to go the entire distance on fuel if he can. Really has no reason not to. He's lapping just about 3/10 faster than a large portion of the field. 50 laps in on those original set of tires. So in theory, the only thing Rogers has to worry about for a little while is possibly running into some traffic, both literally and figuratively. Ooh, that's the last thing that Rogers wants, though. Those big blinks showing he's got a problem connecting to the service, the iRacing service. Now while he's out front, he's got clean air in front and behind him. Has now made it a almost a 4.5 second advantage over Fitzsimmons, who may have smoked his tires. No real worry about the blinks there, or at least now, but if that blink lasts too long, it'll automatically send you back to pit road. So Rogers has to be feeling the pressure here slightly. Looking forward to a lap time update here, because Rogers really putting the gap on second place back. All right, Rogers with a 25.8. His fastest lap of the race was a 24.32. Fitzsimmons with a 26 flat, so Rogers running about 0.2 faster than the Flying Britsman. But now Finley Fitzsimmons in the subway back 06 surely knows it's a 5-second disadvantage to Rogers. I'm wondering if Rogers was planning on this long green flag run. As we're going to go a little bit further back where things are still exciting. Matthew Weeks battling back and forth with Cody McCorkle, the number 2 machine, for the 10th place spot. McCorkle way up high, Weeks down low. And it looks like Weeks will get the 10th place spot nice and easy. And he's going to put his head down the number 11 machine and see if he can pull up the Radford Shutters. Casey Carrington, our first driver for a green flag stop on lap 56 here. Kyle Hall is going to come down pit road as well. So just 2 drivers with a green flag stop so far. James Silver's Craig Martin still in pit road. Not sure if they're getting repairs done or if they're just done for the evening. And this is where things get very exciting. We're going to pull up the live timing tower on the left side of your screen to see where your favorite racer is. And right as I say that, a caution comes out for Vandermeed. And that is the last thing that Carrington and Hall really wanted, because they will find themselves at least a couple laps down here. Let's take a look, see what happened to Vandermeed. Oh, just gets edged around by Fest Cannon. Vandermeed tries to get it pointed in the right direction as quickly as he can, but unfortunately the caution will still fly. And that will be our first caution of the night, as I think you're going to see just about everybody except for Carrington and Hall come down pit road. They came in 3 laps prior. And this is nerve-wracking. Cautions breed cautions, ladies and gentlemen. So everybody down pit road, I believe everybody's going to take 4 fresh tires, a full tank of fuel. Going to be interesting to see these drivers, if any of the drivers still plan on making it a 2-stop race. In theory, they can go out, and if they do a bit of fuel saving, should be able to make it to lap 135 and come in once more and make it till the end here. But as we get the race report from race control, I should say, the number 89, Jacob Fest Cannon, will get the EOL for the contact with 7, Michael Vandermeed, and he will find that number 89 machine going back to the end of the longest line. Race control, of course, tonight provided by world famous Joseph Penn. It looks like Craig Martin did return to the track. The number 22 machine needs to be about 47 laps down. Silvers has been unable to return, as now McAllister, the AAA machine, is in pit road. But this is where I get a little bit apprehensive, as now you've got the field stacked back up early on. At the beginning of this race, you saw a lot of aggressive moves, fenders getting used, doors again getting bumped into rather aggressively, and drivers got used to lapping around 1 to 1.5 seconds slower than their fastest times. So now you got drivers coming out with fresh tires. Okay, I thought there was a crash, but that was Fest Cannon pulling over to allow the field by. So now you've got drivers stacked back up, a much freer, a much looser machine underneath them. And away they go, green flag racing once more. Rogers with a massive launch. Fitzsimmons running second, Andrew McGronigal showing in third, but he's got pressure from Lane Doyle. Will we get a lap clean here? Are we going to see another caution come out rather quickly? Hill trying to make a move on the number 94 machine as Rogers gets an early launch. He's about a half second ahead of Finley Fitzsimmons. Oh, a big moment there for McGonigal. He's got heavy damage on the front left. Is he going to be able to limp it around here? That's Andrew McGonigal, the 94 machine. Heavy damage. Oh, look at the front left wheel. It's gone. It's hanging on for all she's got. The caution not coming out. Looks like McGonigal just got snapped loose there. Just as we were talking about, a loose free car. Very easy to come around. Because I think Cody McCorkle had problems. Robert Hill Jr. falling back as well. Lane Doyle's got big problems. And that'll be our second caution of the night as the field checks up. Let's see what happened to Doyle in the 32 machine. Too much apron. Around he goes. And not enough brake. Not able to get that car wound up. Tags the wall. That will bring out our second caution of the night. Now, I'm not sure. I don't think we're going to have many drivers come down pit road. It's only been 8 laps since the last caution and the last pit stop. And you know who's not digging this is Zach Rogers, the number 4, as he's shown he's got long run speed. Goes for a bit of a half-hearted fake out. That was exactly what we were expecting, or at least what I was expecting. Drivers coming out loose, machines. Now, interesting enough, Alex Carr, Robert Hill Jr., Alex Penn, all down pit road. McGonigal out for the night in the number 94. Looks like Carr and Penn with extended stays in pit road, just about 50 seconds, getting some repairs done. Everybody else opts to stay out. Let's get them gridded back up. Keep an eye on the number 4 machine. Got a spectacular launch just about 9 laps prior. I guess 11 laps now. We had our last caution. But keep an eye on Fitzsimmons as well in the 06 machine. He's hungry to get up front, so it's Rogers, Fitzsimmons on the front row. Kennedy and Weeks, your second row. As Rogers wants nothing more now than to get some green flag laps underneath them. And we did get confirmation McGonigal has sent it back to the virtual hauler. Pace car is in. Rogers wasting no time. Away he goes. And the battle for second underway. Here comes Matthew Weeks sliding up along the inside of Tim Kennedy. Will Kennedy have the drive down the backstretch? As this is the battle for third on your screen right now. Weeks on the inside line. Kennedy up high. We've got Banana cheering on. That's our good friend Tyler the Weapon Evans. Looks like the old Weapon's been giving some of his coaching to a few of the drivers out there tonight. As we've seen all sorts of exciting stuff going on. And he's got to be pumped for Vandermeer. The number 7 machine looks to be making up some ground, working his way inside the top 5. As Rogers out front, already checking out. He's built up an 8/10 advantage over Fitzsimmons in second. So now Weeks will have pressure from Vandermeer. As the battle's been mostly going on from about third place back tonight. Looks like Weeks gonna hold on to fourth, getting about a 3/10 advantage over Vandermeer. Vandermeer has Tooker right behind him. David Tooker in the 83 machine is up 14 spots so far this evening. Definitely our hard chargers. Interesting enough, Robert Hill Jr. in the 05 comes down pit road for a green flag stop. Not sure if he was involved in some sort of shakeup or what the issue may have been there. As here's the battle for just inside the top 9. That's Shutters, Adolf, Cannon, running 8th through 10th here. A little bit further up front. Keep an eye out on David Tooker. He's making some moves here, ladies and gentlemen. So if we go green for a while, we're expecting the next fuel window to open up around lap 100 to 135, depending on the strategy out of these drivers. As Tooker keeping the pressure up on that number 7 machine of Michael Vandermeer. That's Weeks just ahead of them. And it looks like Tim Kennedy running third in the 88 machine. May be within striking distance, depending how this run goes. You are very quickly going to see who's got the tire management down to a science. And that may be Rogers, the number 4 machine. He's got about a 6.5 gap over Fitzsimmons. Doesn't seem to be pushing too hard here. Now, Fitzsimmons has the pace, but does he have the tire management to try and reel in Rogers? So David Tooker in that number 83 machine is third in points, currently sixth out on track as Rogers gets ready to put down Hall, or put Hall a lap down. The number 87 machine, you can see the front end missing from the 87, so he's out there just driving to survive at this point. Oh, another big blink from Rogers as Fitzsimmons starts to close the gap behind him. It was down to a half second very briefly as Rogers fought with traffic. So Tooker not out of this championship yet either in the 83 machine. He's 13 points back from Zach Rogers, your current points leader. So if we go green all the way, Tooker's going to have a tough night trying to get all the way up towards the front, but what he can do is score well, finish well, get a bunch of points, and then maybe make it quite a showdown next week for the season finale. Tooker keeping Weeks and Vandermeer within striking distance. Tim Kennedy in third, not too far out of the picture. But if these four drivers continue battling, that's going to allow Rogers and Fitzsimmons to extend their gap. They're about a full second ahead of third place back. As we go on board with Zach Rogers in the number 4, your race leader with Mountain Man Motorsports. Heavy lifting going into 3, trying to keep the tires underneath them. And seems to be having a good night here tonight. He's pulled about a second gap over Fitzsimmons once more. As I believe Tim Kennedy in the 88 machine very slowly closing the gap to the British driver in second. It looks to me like the field starting to spread out a little bit more, except for third, fourth, and fifth place, all still within a second of each other here. But over 30 laps on this set of tires at this point, it's going to be tough to make any big moves, any big charges as the tire wear makes it a lot harder, but Kennedy still closing the gap slightly to Fitzsimmons. He's bringing along Matthew Weeks with him in the number 11. Will Weeks stay behind Kennedy, or will he start battling for that final podium spot? Now, if these two drivers work together, they may be able to catch up to Fitzsimmons a little bit faster. But it's always tough to tell that to a racer who's in the middle of battle. As we see, Weeks takes a peek on the inside line of Kennedy. Charging around through 3 and 4. Behind them, that's Vandermeer and Tooker still linked up nose to tail. Weeks way down low. Kennedy on the high line through 1 and 2. Looks like Kennedy not gonna have quite enough drive down the backstretch, as Weeks stays glued to that yellow line, trying to make the raceway just a little bit smaller. But how much tire wear is he sacrificing with these lunges? As Weeks takes over the third place spot, Vandermeer and Tooker have joined the fray. And now Weeks is gonna try and close the half-second gap that Fitzsimmons currently has. Ooh, Weeks with a big blink. Where'd Weeks go? Weeks has lost connection. And the number 11 machine, he will get punted back to pit road. The Weeks, who is running so strong tonight, has the rug ripped out from underneath him. That will put your top three, Rogers, Fitzsimmons, Kennedy, as Vandermeet and Tooker running inside the top five. Now we had the fans asking, Lane Doyle, number 32 machine, still 9th out on track, trying to catch up to Jacob Cannon. Two drivers who had a little bit of a history in that big moment in the opening laps. I wonder if that's going to make Doyle a little bit gun shy trying to get around the 89. As, oh boy, Vandermeet gets around Kennedy, moves up into third. Will he keep the pressure on and try and get around Fitzsimmons as well? Here we go, a four-car battle for second. Fitzsimmons, Vandermeet, Kennedy, Tooker all in the fray. Your race leader, Zach Rogers, has pulled a 2-second gap. Rogers will be talking to his crew chief, knowing it's a comfortable gap built up. No need to push too hard. Just keep the tires underneath you. Stay on that pit strategy if you can. Now, Vandermeet and Fitzsimmons are teammates here for the All-American ARCA Series, both racing for Cornerstone Motorsports. Kennedy racing for Mountain Man Motorsports, as well as your race leader, Zach Rogers. And I'm not entirely sure who Tooker is racing for tonight. I don't see him with his team channel, but look at this. Here comes Vandermeet around the inside of his teammate. Fitzsimmons has heavy front right damage in the 06 machine, a big blink as well. Oh, things are about to get exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Two teammates battling hard for second. David Tooker wants to interject himself in the party. We're two wide, 2 rows deep. The two teammates not leaving each other a whole lot of room here. Vandermeet holding it wide. All the while, Zach Rogers has increased his gap. Now 2.8 seconds over this 4-car battle for second. Oh, and around they go. Fitzsimmons was involved in that. Kennedy was involved in that. That was a big one. Oh, Fitzsimmons just got ever so slightly hooked from Kennedy. I'm not sure. It just looked like a racing incident to me, but let's take another look at it here, see if we can get a tighter angle. Fitzsimmons in the 06 comes up. Kennedy nowhere to go, gets into the quarter panel. And unfortunately, big damage for the two of them. And that will be our third caution of the night, currently showing Rogers, Vandermeet, Tooker, your top three. Just a matter of time before that one was going to fly through. And I will be right back as we're under caution. Don't go anywhere. The All-American ARCA North Carolina 200 still heating up as we get to past the halfway mark for the evening. I've got to agree with race control's call there. The lap 101 yellow deemed a racing incident. Just not enough real estate out on track for both those drivers to be. So for this restart, it's going to be Rogers and Vandermeet on the front row, McCorkle and Tooker your second row, Fitzsimmons and Carrington your third row. Other fan favorites such as Lane Doyle will be starting ninth. Matthew Weeks, he's done and out. The number 11 machine back in the virtual hauler. We've got 16 drivers on the lead lap. Looks to be about 18 drivers still, 19 drivers still out there circulating. Now, this is an interesting spot to be in. As I'm showing, drivers will be about 20 laps short on fuel to make it till the end, so no longer looking like a two-stop strategy will suffice for anybody. It's looking like a 3 or more for just about the entire field, depending on how the cautions fall. Drivers have a maximum 3 sets of tires that they can use, so just about everybody's used both sets already. They'll have one more behind the wall. And keep an eye out on Rogers number 4. He's been getting great launches all night long here. And away they go. Rogers with another patented start right behind him. Vandermeet and Tooker gonna duke it out for that second place spot. Vandermeet had the inside line, but Tooker has the momentum in the 83 machine. Side by side they go through 3 and 4, and look at the drive from Tooker. Working his way up into the second spot. He is up 18 positions in the number 83 machine. "90 laps left to go. Will we get another good, strong green flag run as some of the racier drivers find themselves with some heavily damaged race cars? If they're not completely out of the race, they're at least out of the fight for a podium. As we've got something going on. Oh, there's Fitzsimmons, there's McAllister, there's the number 25 machine all tied up in that one of Greg Carr. Shows Kyle Hall may have been involved as well. That's a lot of damage. Back that camera angle up a little bit. I'm trying to see what exactly caused Fitzsimmons to start getting so wild. That's Fess Cannon behind him. I think Fitzsimmons just gets loose here. Coming out of 2, yes he does. Sends it sliding around. The field checks up to avoid him. I think Fitzsimmons thought he had under control, and unfortunately the field just goes piling in there. That'll be a very quick run on that caution. As I'm going to take a wager there and say Fitzsimmons will be assigned to EOL, but we've got drivers such as Wyatt Nadel, Alex Carr down pit road, as well as Greg Carr, Kyle Hall. All drivers that showed involved in that one. Take another quick look. I'm not quite sure what happened to Hall here in the 87. Could have just been the 87 coming to a stop. It was enough to trigger the crash report. That's exactly what that was. So good call by Hall. Playing it safe, and that'll be our 4th caution of the evening. Let's try this again. As everybody except for Alex Carr and Kyle Hall, as well as I believe Wyatt Nadel, everybody else stays out. While the three mentioned came in a lap 109 to try and get some repairs done, more so than anything. Rogers looking good here to score the bonus point. Or possibly points for the most laps led. I'm going to try and get it pulled up and let you know what those bonus points pay out. So it's 1 point for leading a lap, another point for leading most of the laps. 1 point if you finish the race with 0 incidents. And another bonus point for finishing the race. So a good example, Zach Rogers last week picked up 4 bonus points on top of his regular assigned points, as we see race control giving the EOL to Fitzsimmons for the self-spin. Pretty easy call to make, I would think. Pace car is in. Rogers mashes the loud pedal. That's going to put Tooker and McCorkle battling behind him. Tooker on the gas, the 83 machine. Vandermeer trying to crawl up the inside line against McCorkle. The tire's still relatively fresh, so these guys will be able to make some moves here. I think if Rogers and Tooker can get clean, they can really set some fast laps for the duration of this fuel run. But again, I'm showing these drivers going to be about 20 laps short on fuel to make it all the way to the end. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the strategy comes into play. I think if we can get to lap 140 to 150 and we have another caution, I think that's when Rogers and Tooker will take their last set of tires. But Tooker just clicked off the fastest lap of the race, a 24.25, as he sits in second. And what I find absolutely amazing, up 18 positions so far tonight. All of a sudden, a race that looked like Rogers had it in the bag has David Tooker charging through the field. And could very well throw a wrench in the plans of the number 4. And this would be massive for Tooker to bring home a top 3, a second, or most importantly, a win. As he'd be able to pass Casey Carrington in points and really close the gap to Rogers before he's tied the championship next week. So Fitzsimmons in the 06 machine did take fuel on lap 111. But again, I still think that's going to put these drivers about 10, 11 laps short. So this could very well be an interesting round here tonight. Rogers, for the first time in 120 laps, has pressure from behind. David Tooker within 0.3 here. Will we see these two Titans battle it out for the lead? Or is Tooker going to play it safe, sit behind Rogers, and just see what he's been doing? Rogers still holding on about a 4/10 advantage over Tooker. Tooker about a second. Yeah, let's call it more closer to 9/10 there over Vandermeed. As you can see the number 7 machine on the top part of your screen trying to reel in these two race leaders. Tooker stalking Rogers here. Rogers getting lap after lap. I feel fairly certain he's going to have the most laps led here at Rockingham. But if and when will we see Tooker in the 83 machine put the pressure on Rogers? As Rogers continues to set the pace. Running very, very clean. We know in the past, or at least tonight, Rogers really excelled on the long green flag runs, but we've seen Tooker able to come through the field tonight up 18 spots. And he does currently have the fastest lap of the race, so which of these two drivers will have the pit strategy down? I can say for certain, with the amount of cautions we've had so far this evening, I don't think either of these drivers is going to come down pit road under green flag conditions unless they're sputtering and the gas tank's completely empty. Because we've seen fast drivers before get put down 1, if not 2 laps with a early green flag stop. Took her right off the back of Rogers. But again, is Tooker going to put the pressure on anymore? Or is Tooker trying to wick up the race pace slightly to not allow Rogers to fuel save too much here? Rogers knows just how crucial that bonus point can be. And the 5 more points he would gain bringing home a win as opposed to a second. Looks like Doyle has made the pass up into 5th. The number 32 machine, he's up 1 spot as your top 5. Currently Rogers, Tooker, Vandermeed, McCorkle, and Doyle. But here comes David Tooker looking to the inside line. Rogers leaving him plenty of room, but that inside line, such a tough pass to facilitate, especially late in the tire run. Drivers have about 30 laps on these tires so far. But they're already about 7/10 off their fastest laps of the run. And they're only going to get slower, only going to get tighter as this thing keeps charging forward. As funny enough, this is the tightest battle we have out on track as well. The field fairly stretched out. We've got 15 drivers on the lead lap of the 22 that entered here today. As we're going to take a peek back further in the field, looks like Carrington trying to catch back up to Lane Doyle, the number 32 machine. This will be the battle for 5th on screen. About a half second back is Jacob Fest-Cannon, the number 89 machine. He's accompanied by Tim Kennedy in the 88. And it looks like Carrington finding some pace late in the run. Now Doyle may have a little bit of damage on that 32 machine. Not sure if he's able to get it hammered back into shape during those pit stops. Carrington right on the back. Meanwhile, up front, Zach Rogers has pressure from Tooker. Let's go back up front, check in on Rogers and Tooker. That gap was down to 1/10 of a second, so I think Tooker taking a couple more peeks to the inside line of Rogers. Now these two drivers very similar on pace here. Hall came down pit road. I saw a puff of smoke through 3 and 4. I wonder if he left all the fast, or let all the fast magic out of the engine of that 87 machine, as he did have a lot of front end damage. And something happened to Carrington as well, who was battling hard with Doyle. And the fifth has now dropped back to 8th. As we continue watching the battle for the lead, Zach Rogers, David Tooker. Less than a quarter of a second separating these two drivers through the last 10, 15 laps. There's Hall in the 87 machine coming back into pit road. But these two have already built up a 1.4 second, let's call it a 1.5 second advantage over Michael Vandermeet in third. You can see Vandermeet on the right side of your screen coming out of 2. Now Rogers coming off of a win just last week in Kansas. I don't think Tooker was at that event. No, he was. Tooker finished 6th and even led 5 laps. While Zachary Rogers, your current race leader, led 75 out of the 134 we were out on track. But this could very well be a good race. We're expecting these two drivers to have to come down pit road at least once more. I think they're going to wait for a caution or an empty fuel tank to do so. And then they will throw on their final set of tires for a showdown. Now, I think if Tooker thinks he maybe not have the pace, he'll come down pit road 1 lap prior than Rogers if he can plan it out like that. And if Rogers can continue building up the gap, he's going to stay out as long as he possibly can. Now up to 0.4 of a second over David Tooker. We're going a little bit further back to a 4-car battle for 5th. Lane Doyle's worked his way up into 4th, so now it's Fescannon, Kennedy, Carrington, McCorkle running 5th through 8th. As your top 4 drivers running almost identical lap times, all around the high 25.3s, low 25.4s. Kennedy right on the bumper of the 89 of Fescannon. How will Fescannon do here with the pressure, and will Kennedy be able to make any big passes? Because these cars are going to be extremely tight with the tire wear. I would imagine this is going to be a front right wear kind of night for our drivers, as that's Carrington way up in the wall. As it looks like Fescannon and Kennedy very, very slowly closing the gap to Doyle in 4th. I heard tires squealing from somewhere. It's going to be Radburn Shutters, the number 5 machine. He's off the track. I believe that's in 1 and 2, but I think he's got front left damage. Trying to take a peek at that number 5. See if that wheel's still attached. It is not. So he's going to try and limp it around back to pit road, and his night is unfortunately over. Let's take a look and see what happened to Shutters. Gets punted out of the way by, I think that's Alex Penn, the number 30 machine. Very uncharacteristic there. But no caution as Alex Penn involved in that one with Shutters. But no caution. Now Lane Doyle in fourth, having a fantastic showing here tonight, number 32 machine. He's only up 2 spots from where he qualified, but if he can finish where he's at, that'll be a career, a season best finish. His best finish so far has been an 18th. Way back February 25th at Las Vegas. And other than that, unfortunately, Doyle hasn't really been able to finish races well. He had a 38th, a 33rd, and a 25th, the other 3 races to mention. And it seemed like every one of those, he found himself mired in controversy, involved in some big incidents. And we already saw a massive save out of Doyle early on in the night as Fess Cannon gave him a bit of a shove. And what Doyle doesn't want to have point out right now, the number 89 machine, Fess Cannon, once again in his rearview mirror, 3/4 of a second back. But the one saving grace Doyle may have here, as Fess Cannon will be involved in his own race between Tim Kennedy, who's still putting the pressure on. So this is the battle for 5th on screen. Jacob Fess Cannon, Tim Kennedy, the 89, the 88 still going at it. Expecting the fuel window to open up around lap 170 with 27 left to go. Ooh, Kennedy right on the bumper of Fess Cannon. And they are starting to close the gap to Doyle in the 32 machine right around in 4th. And once again, Rogers has checked out up front, pulling a 1.2 second gap over David Tooker. Going on board with Kennedy's number 88 machine. Is he going to try and make a pass in the 89 of Fess Cannon? Or maybe stay in line as these 2 drivers have really closed the gap here to Lane Doyle. Fess Cannon now just 3/10 back from the 32 machine. As your top 3, Rogers, Tooker, Vandermeer, seem to have checked out. Doyle knows what's coming up behind him. Here comes Fess Cannon trying to make the move for 4th. A little bit of a bobble there. Kennedy checks up as well. But how much more tires do these guys have left underneath them to make these big lunges? Their last pit stop was on lap 102. Cannon takes a peek once more, looks to the inside line. Who's it going to be as they come out of turn 4 at the start-finish line? It looks like it's going to be Doyle by just a few hundredths of a second. Doyle way up high, maybe cooked it in a little bit deep there. He's going to slot in behind Cannon. And Jacob Cannon, the number 89 machine, now going to make it 4 positions gained so far in the run, working his way up into 4th. Kennedy going to try and follow the move from the 89 Cannon as well to see how he can get around the number 32 of Doyle. And these are tough moves to make. Look at this. Doyle going to return the favor against Cannon. Coming through 3 and 4. Doyle is not out of it yet, ladies and gentlemen. Got to be careful. He's looking for a career best finish. Anything over than ahead of 18th will be a magical night for Doyle. A top 5 would be absolutely spectacular for the driver and crew of the number 32 machine. Doyle finding some pace here late in the run, puts a 3/10 gap over Cannon. Ooh, this is interesting. Robert Hill Jr. comes down pit road for a final green flag stop. 37 laps left in this main event. But all eyes right now on this 3-car battle for 4th. It seems to be getting a little bit frantic. I think we just heard somebody blow up on pit road. I wonder if that was Hill. Let's check in on him. I don't think it was him. Oh, Cannon! A big moment in the 89 machine. I wonder if he blew a tire there. He's fighting for it for dear life as here comes Carrington, the number 9 machine. Hinting at 3-wide action. Keep an eye on Cannon. He had that big moment and then struggled to hold on to it side by side with Carrington. It would not be the first time we've seen a tire blow out at one of these tracks that's very rough on tire wear. And the party keeps changing inside the top 5. Doyle's pulled a 1.5 second gap over Kennedy. And now it looks like Cannon really fighting with that number 89 machine. And Carrington showing some great long-run pace here, trying to work his way inside the top 5. That's lap traffic. Yeah, it's McAllister in the AAA machine trying to hop out of the way. As Carrington trying to hold the pedal down. We think that fuel window is going to close in just about 5 laps. As David Tooker comes down pit road, the first driver in the top 3. Rogers opts to stay out, as well as Vandermeer. Doyle moves up into 3rd as Tooker is in pit road. We're going to pull up the live timing tower to see where your favorite driver is as these green flags stop cycle through. Rogers and Vandermeer 1 and 2, Doyle 3rd, Kennedy and Carrington round out the top 5. When will we see the number 4 machine, Zach Rogers, comes down pit road? When will he come down pit road? As now Finley Fitzsimmons in the 06 comes in for a green flag stop. Rogers has to be tight on fuel as now Vandermeer will come down. A lot of drivers still staying out there. 1st through 6th, it looks like, opting to stay out. Now, normally at this point of the race, I would say Rogers and everybody else inside the top 5 stretching the run out would look for a caution, but I think they're going to want this thing to go green, especially Zach Rogers, who's been extremely quick on the long run pacing and tire management as it just about comes to fruition. McAllister, all sorts of out of control, able to hold on to it. A big moment, though, for Rogers, who had made way for the 888, who had, I believe, fresher tires underneath him. Carrington comes down pit road, as well as Nick Terrell for their final stops. This is going to be a nail biter to see how this works out. And just like that, Rogers, your race leader, comes down pit road. Will Lane Doyle in the 32 machine follow suit? No, Doyle stays out, getting a lap led here at All-American ARCA. He's being chased by Tim Kennedy in the 888 machine. Rogers, Fescannon on pit road. So current top 5, Doyle, Kennedy, McCorkle, Nadel, Penn. Staying out. Most of these drivers last time they were in was on lap 102. Wyatt Nadel now in 4th in the 04 machine. He came in on lap 109 for his 3rd stop. So he'll be able to go 6-7 laps longer on fuel, maybe looking for a caution. As that would help a lot of drivers out. We've only got 6 drivers on the lead lap. As Doyle, Kennedy, McCorkle, your top 3 last time they were in pit road was on lap 102, continue to stay out. Ooh, look at that. I think that was Robert Hill Jr. Almost got into the back of your race leader, Lane Doyle, who's holding on to it with those much older tires. Where is Zach Rogers out on track? He's showing 8th behind David Tooker in the 83 machine. As your top 6, the only drivers in the lead lap are those who are really stretching the fuel run, and oh my, is Doyle properly stretching it out here. I think Doyle and Kennedy are looking for a late race caution to try and put some of those fast guys a lap down. As Doyle and Kennedy linked up nose to tail, Kennedy might be doing a little bit of fuel saving behind the 32 machine. Who will be punching just a little bit more air. Oh, here comes Tooker with those fresh tires. The number 83 machine trying to get a lap back here. Expected him to aggressively throw it up the inside line. Yes, he does. Carrington follows suit, so Tooker will get his lap back. Tim Kennedy comes down pit road. Doyle stays out for another one. He hasn't had enough here. Cody McCorkle also down pit road. Now, we've seen Tooker unlap himself. We haven't seen Rogers do that yet. So Tooker with a short pit, gaining some very valuable track position. That could be paying off dividends. As Rogers, who's led just about every lap here tonight, still finds himself a lap down. Here comes Rogers, the number 4 machine. But Rogers is going to be about 4 seconds back from David Tooker. With 17 laps left to go, we know Rogers has the long run speed. Does he have the short run speed? As now Vanderbeek, the number 7 machine, going to get his lap back from Lane Doyle, who continues to charge out front, refusing to come down pit road. I'm not sure if Doyle's ever led a lap here at the All-American ARCA Series, but he's sure enjoying the part now. As there goes Nick Terrell. Alex Carr, who was running third, comes down pit road for his final planned stop of the evening. There's no way that Doyle's going to try and fuel save that much. Let's listen. I think he's sputtering now. Oh no, Doyle's gonna fuel save like his life depends on it here. But Doyle risking it all. He's gonna try and fuel save as much as he can with 14 laps left to go. He's got a 12-second gap over Wyatt Nadel, but Nadel came in 7 laps later the number 32 machine for this to fill up and get back out there taking a splash of fuel. I don't think it's possible for Doyle to save that much fuel at this point of the race. That is a big, big ask. But to his credit, he is about 15, 16 seconds ahead of David Tooker and Zach Rogers, who may be having a battle for what is now third, but could be the race win. No, Doyle says, I've got to come down pit road. Nadel doing a whole bunch of fuel saving as well, but I still think he's going to be several laps short as we go a little bit further back. There's David Tooker, center screen, the number 83 machine. But Nadel will get a lap led. The 04 machine currently up 21 positions. As, oh boy, Tooker gonna have a whole lot of drivers to try and get around because he knows Zach Rogers just 6/10 behind him. Nadel in the 04 machine has a half-second advantage over Tooker. But Tooker with the fresh tires and not having a fuel save is about to come barreling through here. Tooker looks to the inside line. That's Nadel in the 04. Robert Hill Jr. in the 05 is a lap down. And all of a sudden, Zach Rogers has joined the party as well. Tooker takes over the race lead. Rogers just 4/10 off. 10 laps left to go. And we're about to have some fireworks, ladies and gentlemen. Tooker, for the first time tonight, getting some laps led. Rogers, who's hands down got the most laps led this evening, 3/10, making a quarter of a second off the back of that 83 machine. Rogers with 5-lap newer tires. How big will that be a factor as we've got 9 laps left to go? Was the track position for Tooker worth 5-lap older tires? Because Rogers, we know he's got the long run speed. We know he can save the tire. And now he's going to put the pressure on Tooker's 83 as they make their way through 3 and 4. 8 laps left to go as they cross the line. Less than 2/10 of a second separating your race leaders. Rogers right on the back bumper of Tooker, takes a peek at the inside line, crossing the start-finish line. Tooker had it by just a few hundredths of a second there, but now Rogers gonna put the screws onto the 83 machine as it is a drag race through Thunder Valley, the backstretch here at Rockingham. Rogers, the inside line, Tooker trying to carry a little bit more momentum through 3 and 4. Rogers backs out of it. He lost about a couple of tenths of a second there. But now he's measuring up the 83 to see what he can do. Gonna try it once more to 3 and 4. No, I think Tooker didn't have the run I expected. Side by side once more for 3 and 4. It shows Rogers ahead by 100th of a second at the line. But now lap traffic is going to come into play with Alex Carr in the number 1 machine. We go 3 wide. Carr tags the outside wall. Tooker with a heavy lift. Oh, that might be it for Tooker. Sustaining a little bit of damage inside the 83 machine. Rogers pulls 3/10 as your race leader. As it stands, it's Rogers, Tooker, Vandermeet, Nadel, Fescannon. Your current top 5, 4 laps left to go. If Tooker's got anything left in the tank, he's got to put it down because Rogers, when he gets that clean air ahead of him, absolutely lethal. Looks like Rogers not slowing down here. Running about 3/10 faster than Tooker did his last time by. It's 3 laps left to go, 2 at the line. Rogers looking good here to make it 2 in a row. White flag will be out this time by. And it looks to me like Rogers gonna be the second driver to make it 3 wins here in the All-American ARCA Series. The checkered flag will fly. And Zach Rogers brings it home here at the North Carolina 200. David Tooker with the second, and it will be Michael Vandermeet rounding out the podium here tonight. What great racing amongst these guys. A lot of fun to watch. But it was Zach Rogers coming home as the top dog. We're going to try and get our top 3 drivers quickly up here into victory lane for their podium speeches. And don't forget, I've got a very important announcement following this race. You're not going to want to miss it, ladies and gentlemen, as you will see my smiling face on camera for the first time. Rogers going to burn it down in style in the number 4 machine, extending his points lead as the champion. We've got to work on the youngsters' burnouts. There we go, lighting it up for the fans. And what a great run from Rogers. Hands down the dominant car of the evening. And Rogers thoroughly enjoying the limelight here today. A very well-deserved win. All right, we're going to get our drivers up here. We're seeing Vandermeet. We've got Tooker. Up first, it's going to be Michael Vandermeet and the number 7 machine. Mike, a great run tonight, up 4 spots, bringing home the podium for you and the team. And I'd say a pretty good race, all things considered.
Oh, yeah. This was a hard one. This was a race of endurance and surviving.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of the fast guys got sent back to the hauler early. What was the plan for you and the number 7 machine to bring it home here at the end?
Survive. That's pretty much it. I spent the first 2 runs burning my tires up, and the last one I finally made them last. It was hard. This was a hard race.
A lot of fun to watch. Great job to you and the Cornerstone guys. A very solid third place, and just one race left for everybody to lock up the points. And before I let you go, Mike, who do you want to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors that helped you get up here this evening.
I just gotta thank the team. Yeah, well, that's pretty much about it, honestly. We don't
Oh,
really have sponsors or anything like that.
awesome. Mike, great job as always, my friend. Good to have you up here and a great run tonight, bringing home a third.
Yes, sir. I'll see you around.
Talk to you soon. That was Michael Vandermeed with a third place finish. Up next, David Tooker with a hard-fought second. David up 18 positions tonight. What a run, my friend.
Yeah, it was a fun run, fun race. I love coming here. This is definitely one of my favorite tracks. It's a unique track, which invites a different kind of finesse. So, but no, like you said, just a great race. Made up a lot of spots. Got to the very last pit stop, and I knew I had to undercut Zach just to get ahead. He was definitely quicker than me on the long run. I kept up with him for maybe the first 25, 30 laps, but he just found another gear in the last 10, 15 laps or so, and I hit the undercut, which was great. You know, we had about a 4-second lead over Zach, but just caught some lap traffic in some bad spots, and got side by side for the lead with just less than 5 to go, and unfortunately just wrong timing with a lap car, but that's just how it is. You either win some or you lose some. So, but nonetheless, happy that the teammate won. He was definitely one of the fastest cars tonight, so definitely earned it.
Now, David, as the season's progressed, we've seen both you and Rogers really show what you have with long run pace. I mean, are you guys working together on that? Is it just natural talent between the both of you, or why is it we consistently see you two up front so often?
I think most of it is, you know, the field's grouped up together. Everyone tries to make up spots within the first 10 or 15 laps because everyone's really close together, but I kind of go at it with a different mindset. I try to be as patient as I can the first 15, 20 laps of the run. And as you saw, just it really made up a difference. I didn't really get too high up on the first run. I overcooked the right front, but no, just it's just really driving style. I like having a little bit better of a car towards the end of a run, especially with the green flag runs we were getting. I knew long run pace was going to be very, very important. And a track like this, you're beating up the right front so much. So if you overcook it just that little bit, you could find yourself either in the top 3 or in the top 20. It really just depends. But no, I've I've been working on my long run pace, and tonight was a good showing of that. So very happy with second.
Well, David, always a great time talking to you. Fantastic run again, up 18 positions, nothing to sneeze at. Who would I like to give a shout to? Friends, family, sponsors that helped you get up here.
Yeah, just want to shout out everybody at Mountain Man Motorsports. Great teammates. Love working with this team. You know, it's really cool to see us all running up front. Cody was up there with us too. I think he had a little spin earlier, but he was up there battling up in the top 5 with me and Zach, and Weeks was having a great run too. Just an unfortunate internet issue, but he can't really control that. But yeah, everybody at Mountain Man Motorsports, Robert Hill Jr. I know I give him a shout out every interview, but appreciate him for giving me the opportunity to come drive one of his cars. I've had a blast here. Everybody at All American ARCA for what they do, Casey Carrington, all of our officials. It's a great group of people, and I couldn't be happier to run with these guys. And also want to thank you, James, for what you do for the booth for us. Team Goon Squad, love you guys, love you. But yeah, that's everybody.
Well, greatly appreciate David. Great job out there, my friend, and hope to see you do well at the season finale next week.
Alrighty, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was David Tooker bringing it home in second. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Zach Rogers, the number 4 machine, picking up the win, getting a little bit more points, and you'll be headed into the season finale with a 20-point advantage, my friend.
I'm exhausted, James.
Yeah, I can tell. I mean, that was a lot of wheeling, a lot of great racing, and man, that number 4 machine was flying over the green flag runs.
Yeah, I felt pretty confident coming in, and yeah, I'm glad it played out. Shout out to Tooker, man. He ran a hell of a race at the end there, and I hate that it ended that way for him, but yeah, that really helps me out. I was stressing a lot about this race coming in, and I'm just glad we pulled it off.
Now, Zach, talking about stress, I mean, you do have the 20-point advantage going into Atlanta next week, but are you more stressed or less stressed after tonight's race?
I'm sure I'll still be stressed because I'm just a paranoid freak. But league I ran yesterday, we ran there, and I really ended up doing a lot better than I thought I was going to. So that definitely helped my confidence level there. And I got a little bit of tire savings practice with this one, so that'll hopefully transfer over there. So as long as those two things mesh together, I think we'll be sitting pretty.
Well, you and the team have been rocking and rolling all season long. I believe you picked up 4 bonus points tonight. How important do you think those bonus points are with a championship as close as it is? Again, it's 20 points to you and Tooker, and I mean, I know that is your teammate, but that's still got to be nerve-wracking to have the points just that tight. I mean, yeah, 20 points to you and Tooker, and 35 points to you and Carrington. So, what are you feeling going into this season finale? How are you thinking about the points?
Yeah, I mean, bonus points are always very important. That's why I've been prioritizing them pretty much the whole season. I'm trying to rack up as many as I can, do whatever I can to get them, and especially those two. I mean, y'all have seen them; they've been super consistent over the course of the season. Where I've had a couple slip ups, so anything I can do to make that up, I've been trying to cover it.
Well, it seems like I was telling Tooker, you guys just keep getting more and more consistent, quicker and quicker over the long runs. It's been a lot of fun for me to watch you guys develop as drivers and sometimes as people out there. So it's been a lot of fun. And Zach, you've got the privilege, the pleasure, my friend, of I guess technically the final send-offs of the night. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
Just shout out everybody who's a part of this. I appreciate everybody coming out every week. I know some weeks are tough, some races are tough, but the more people, the better. I feel like, and it takes everybody to get this thing going. Shout out to Robert Hill for putting this team together, bringing Tucker, Zeus, Matthew Weeks, and him, and the Crew Chiefs Corner Motorsports guys for together. I feel like we've been meshing well this season. It's been fun running with them. Yeah, and thanks to you, bud, for doing this.
Oh, my absolute pleasure, Zach. Great job tonight, and hope to see you maybe bring home a championship next week in Atlanta.
Hopefully. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. That was Zach Rogers bringing home the very top spot here tonight. David Tooker finishing second. And Michael Vandermeed rounding out the podium. Now I'm going to do my official send-off, as always, on behalf of the All-American ARCA Series, presented by Open Group, the North Carolina 200. Thank you all so much for tuning in. But now, for a special announcement. For the first time on camera for the All-American ARCA Series, my name is James East. I've been calling the action here for a full year now. It's my 1-year anniversary tonight. We've seen a lot of highs. We've seen a lot of lows. It's been an absolute pleasure for me as a broadcaster being a part of the All-American ARCA Series. That being said, tonight is my last time in the booth here for the All-American ARCA Series. I'm very fortunate. I've picked up a fantastic career, and arguably more important, I will be going back and putting together a motorcycle racing program myself. So I will be tied up on the weekends in the very near future, chasing my dreams in eternal glory. It has been an absolute spectacular time here calling all the action. I made a lot of friends. I've watched a lot of drivers grow on the track as well as grow as off the track as competitors and really come into their own. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I say this every week, but I can't stress it enough. Without the fans, without the racers, without the league, I wouldn't have a job, much less have such a great opportunity to get together with so many amazing people from across the world each and every week. I sincerely appreciate you all so much for coming out every Friday night, supporting these guys, supporting me, supporting the league. We couldn't do it without you as a big dysfunctional family. And again, just thank you all so much for letting me be a part of your life for the last year. I'm going to miss these guys sincerely and hope to be back in some sort of capacity, and looking forward to seeing all of you either in my Discord, at a real-life racetrack somewhere across the country, or here at All-American ARCA on a Friday night that will continue charging forward and doing so many amazing things. Thank you all so much. For the final time, my name's James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting signing off. I'll see you to the next one, folks.